My name is Marcia Robinson, and we are recording an oral history with Mariah Martin, Will Duggar, Savannah Geyer, and Jade Smallwood. These interviews are being done as part of the MUMories Oral History Project. This project marks the 50th anniversary of the Miami University Middletown, Ohio campus. This interview is taking place on March 17, 2017 at the Gardner Harvey Library. Do I have your permission and consent to proceed with this interview?
Yes.
Great. So let's start with introducing yourselves and tell us your name and tell us about where you are in school, sophomore, second year, third year, and what your major is.
So my name's Will Duggar. I am a sophomore at Miami Middletown. I'm studying communication studies, going with the route of a minor in commerce. And I am the student government president here on this campus. I've worked in Office of Student Activities, worked in Office of Student Admissions, currently working there now. What can I say? I love this campus. Yes, orientation too.
Okay. My name's Mariah. This is my fourth year here. After this semester, I just have one more semester left, and then I will be graduated from Miami University Middletown. But my major is criminal justice, and my thematic sequence is in psychology.
My name is Jade Smallwood. I am a junior by age, but a sophomore by credit, so I'm a little behind. But my major is civic and regional development, and I recently just changed that. And then my thematic sequence is in family studies and social work.
My name's Savannah Geyer. I'm an admission counselor here at Miami Regionals. I am a recent grad. I just graduated in December this past year in Civic and Regional Development, which is a regional major. It's a study of nonprofits. As a student here, I was an orientation coordinator on this campus of Middletown. I worked in the Office of Admission as a student ambassador, and just really fell in love with this campus and decided that I couldn't leave. So decided to stay on and work, and now I'm an admission counselor, and I'm really excited about my role here.
So what brought the four of you to the Miami Middletown campus?
I know. I was brought here through sports. I played basketball my whole entire life. But I got a few offers to other colleges that were bigger than this, but also way more expensive and farther away from my hometown. So that's what brought me here, is that I got offered to play here and to continue playing basketball, and I ended up actually playing volleyball, basketball, and softball my first year instead of just basketball. So that's what brought me here.
How did you manage to study and do all
I don't know. Between 3-4 hours of sports a day, and then full-time student and working part-time here too. It helped because at the time I was working in the gym, like before practices and stuff like that, so that's where I did a lot of my homework with the other student athletes or some of the other friends that I had here on campus. We would just go into the gym while we were at work or before practice and do our homework then. Or if we were away for tournament games and stuff like that, we would take our homework with us and just try and work on it in the hotel if we weren't, swimming in the pool or something like that.
It sounds like being part of the team almost turned into a family.
It did. I know one of my best friends now, I met her through basketball, and so she has become like my sister, and like her family is my family, and so it's the sports here and the friends that I made there have definitely lasted throughout college, and I'm expecting it to last through like after college as well, so definitely as a family.
That's wonderful. Other stories of why you chose this campus?
I think Mariah touched on a good point, that it was definitely about a financial decision. For me, my family always talks about student debt. That's one of the big crises that are facing the students of this generation. And when you have students that are coming out of school with $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt, and that's just around the average number, it was really kind of troubling to me. So I was looking around I looked at Miami, Oxford, I looked at UC, I looked at OU, OSU, all the schools in the state that people typically go to, and I just wasn't seeing a perfect way out. So, and I never heard about this place until I actually drove by one of the branch campuses myself. And we looked at it, me and my family, and we went in, we talked about it. We asked some of the people, the receptionists at the front desk, hey, what is this place? We see this as part of Miami. And they said, yeah, we're Miami Regionals. So we got interested, we were looking at it, and then we come to find out that the tuition was amazingly low, like almost a third of what on-campus tuition is. So for the first couple of months in the decision-making process, coming to regionals was all financial decision. But it was a little bit afterward when I came to find out that this place, because of how tight the community is, everybody's open to each other. So I was a little bit worried about coming here in respects to socializing with people, because I really didn't think that there'd be that much of a community. It's just a typical community college, come here. But when you find out about that it's so much more than that. I definitely came to love this place a lot more. But to sum it up, the decision in coming here from the get-go was a financial decision, because the student debt crisis is just, it's out of control in this country.
I decided to come to Miami Regionals, Miami Middletown in particular, because my mom was a graduate of the regional campuses. She graduated from the nursing program and has her RN from Middletown. And when my sister and I were looking into colleges, my mom said, well, let's check out Miami Middletown. You're going to get a Miami degree. It's a good option for you. And so my sister came here, and she relocated to Oxford. She's now a teacher. So then when I was looking for an education, looking to where to go, Middletown seemed to pop out, and it was kind of in my blood to go. I was raised in a family that everything is Miami. Everything in our garage is red, everything in our basement's red, everything is Miami. So it was kind of, everyone knew that I was going to go to Miami from day one. And I really enjoy my time here. I think that I was able to make really good friends, all of these people here, and able to grow and learn a lot about myself and a lot about my relationships with others.
So I chose to come to Miami kind of because I had to. It was like, it was like the close, easy thing to do. It was like what my parents wanted me to do, and I was not happy about it. I was a punk about it at first. But then I started getting involved, and I was like, whoa, this school doesn't have the sucky community college stigma, and I am making friends here, and I actually do enjoy it. So it was a really big transformation for me to start as all right, this is I'm just gonna come and leave and not really associate with anyone here, to wow, I actually love this community, and I love Middletown, and I love this city, and I love what the university stands for and how it interacts with the community, and it was this is where I'm supposed to be, and it was cool that it panned out that way.
One of the things that I've noticed is you've all talked about getting involved. What are some of the opportunities available to students here? How do they learn about these opportunities?
I think coming to orientation in the summer, we have every student, when they are accepted here, they come for a summer orientation, which all of us have been a part of the orientation team. We take them on tours, we help them maybe register for classes with an academic advisor, but yet we spend a lot of time working on what organizations are out there, what each student might be interested in, and kind of teaching them about what we have here. At the regionals now, we have 50 organizations that students can get involved in, and I think that that's huge. So there's something for everyone. And we really encourage that if there's not something for you, to create your own. And Will's a good example of that. He created his own organization. And I think that we really push as student orientation leaders to get involved because of our experiences that we've had that were so great.
But even other than student organizations, I started here as an athlete. I didn't join student organizations until close to the end of my sophomore year. But joining any sports teams, it's really easy to join sports teams here. Like, we take everybody because, yeah, we're just so friendly. But also, and I don't think a lot of students think about it as student employment as well. I know, like, we work together, and like Savannah said, all of us work together during orientation, so it's through those work experience that we've had here on campus that we've managed to have the friends that we do now and the experiences that we've had as well.
So you mentioned work. I see you at the information desk.
Yes.
We have a lot of stories about the information desk. What's the information desk like now? What is it like to work there?
You're new, you can start.
There's a lot that goes into it, which you wouldn't think working at a desk. There would be a lot of things that play into it, but you answer phones and you try to help people to the best of their ability with the questions they have. Everything's online now, so it's kind of hard because they'll be like, okay, so what classes are you offering, like, in the summer? And it's like, oh, we, like, show those online now, and I don't have a piece of paper that says that. But it's really cool to get to interact with a ton of people because some people will come in and they'll be like, I went to this school 20 years ago. I just kind of want to check it out. Or when we had the J.D. Vance lecture series, we had all the tickets at the front desk, so people would come up and ask for the tickets, and it was cool to talk to them just about, like, life and start a conversation and be relational with them in that. So it's fun being at the front desk and, like, being the first face that people see when they walk in. Sometimes it's intimidating. Because you're like, oh my gosh, what if you think I'm not nice or, like, not smiley enough, or so. But it's really fun working there, and we actually do a ton of work, which I wasn't expecting. So
I like the part of it that our boss, she is a part of PR and marketing, and so, Ruth Orth. And so she does a lot with the social media accounts for Miami Regionals, and I always get, like, G-chats from her saying, like, does this sound okay? Yeah. Like, can you rephrase this? And so I'll, like, try and help it, and I'm, me being me, like, I think I try to make everything as fun as possible, so I'm like, we need to add a couple words in there to make it more fun, and so we'll, like, work on a caption for a picture or for an event that's going on, and then I go to my social media and I see that the caption that, like, we worked on together is up there, and I'm like, I had a part of that. Like, even though it's just like one or two sentences, like, I think that's really cool to see that it goes onto the Miami Regionals page, and our boss is able to, she trusts us enough to, like, let her help her.
Let's keep going with welcoming students to the campus. So more about how students find out about organizations and things. Did anyone want to add to that?
I would say in working with Office of Student Activities and working with the orientation team and working with Office of Admissions, being part of multiple student orgs, you are placed in a position where the spotlight's almost on you 24/7, or at least whenever you're on campus, attention's drawn to you. And I feel like that comes with a very serious charge that you are responsible for making sure that everybody's having a good time. And so I think that if it works both ways, it's a two-way street. Students, they have to when they're at orientations, they have to talk to their orientation leader, say, hey, what can I do to get on and involved in this campus? But also I feel like that the responsibility also lies with the students that are already on this campus to be warm and welcoming, and like Mariah and Jade said, be very open and receptive. The information desk, you get to tap into a lot of the culture of what's going on at this campus. And a lot of it's, plain people are nervous because it's a new environment. It's not the typical college campus that people are used to, so they don't know how to interact with the culture here. So I think that student leaders have a huge responsibility in getting students exposed to how they can get involved and get acquainted with the people on this campus. You serve as a first impression, and that's important.
Mm-hmm. And other ways that students who might not necessarily initially want to join student orgs, a way for them to find out about it is most of the student orgs will hold events here on campus to try and get the students involved who aren't actually in student organizations, to try and get them involved. And at least once a semester we'll CAB, I think, the Campus Activities Board, and MMSG, our student government, and the Office of Student Activities, with plus other orgs will all come together and we'll put on Fall Fest and Spring Picnic at least once every semester or something like it, where we bring in like dunk tanks and bouncy houses and rock walls and Euro bungee, which is my favorite. But that kind of shows to the students who aren't normally involved in school kind of what we do, that we try and bring as much fun to the campus as possible. And for them to, we always have like information of our orgs at those events. So that gives them another way to get more involved if they want to, stay with the planning and, maybe have an idea for another event that we can do. That gives them another way to get involved with our campus.
So, you've talked about making friends and students meeting one another. Where do people meet people on this campus these days?
Hawkhaven.
What is that?
So that is our commons area. That's where people can go and get food. We have a foosball table. We have a pool table.
Ping pong.
Yeah, ping pong. We have ping pong. We had a television in there. We still do, but no longer hooked up. But regardless, we have food and activities, and those seem to be the two factors that always bring people together.
So what's for lunch?
Oh, man,
Everything.
Anything.
Pizza, chicken sandwiches.
Salad bar.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese bites.
Yeah. Fruit.
We have
I love the
breakfast
tater
items.
tots.
Tater tots. are
Tater
favorite.
tots are my
Yeah,
fave.
chicken tenders and fries are my. If I don't know what to eat, that's my go-to.
And we have a new Starbucks.
We do.
Oh,
yes.
We do.
I think too, students really seem to get to know each other a lot within their majors. So I know for me with CRD, Civic and Regional Development, and Jade may be seeing some of this too, but we have to do a lot of service learning. And service learning is a opportunity where your professors will have you you're in the classroom for however many credit hours, but then you are also out in the community for a next amount of hours as well. So for me, I did service learning at Lifespan in Butler County, and I was able to kind of grow within that organization and network, but then come back to my classmates and tell them everything that I was learning, and everyone else was doing that. So I think too, once you're into your cohort or into like a group of students that you see in a lot of classes, you really start to bond. And then too, with our major, our regional major, we have to do a practicum. So it was a 2-semester, you have to complete like 160 hours within an organization. I did it at Big Brother, Big Sister of Butler County, where I was able to grow within that organization. But then, like I said, you come back and you kind of talk about everything that you're learning. And even still, now that I'm graduated, all the alumni from my group still meet for dinner once a week or once a month. And that's really cool because then we're still connecting with each other outside of our school life and our work life. It's cool. So I think too, your majors, your outside of the community work or outside of the campus work that you're doing is another way to really get involved with other students and meet other students.
I'd like to talk about some of the students you've met in orientation, and we can't use their names or give so many details that we can identify who they are. Miami Middletown has always had a diverse group of students by age, by situation, some with families, some are young. Could you talk about the composition of our campus student body now? What do you see among our students?
I would say that the majority of our student population is still typical college-age students. The backgrounds are still the same. They're as diverse as any other college campus that you visit today. But we have a lot more people, as you pointed out, a lot more people who are different. We have people who are older. They may be single parents. They may be veterans. They may be coming back from a job and they want to continue to broaden their skill sets to go out and look for another job. They may be professionals. They may have skipped a couple of years after high school, waited. They may have gotten a full-time job elsewhere and then come back and started school again. We have a lot of people from a lot of different situations that you encounter at this campus than not many that you see at other campuses. It makes for a very unique experience when they're trying to get into the school because it's one size doesn't fit all in this instance.
I like the part of our population that handles our international students, the ELC, the English Language Center. I think 2-3 years ago, I don't remember how long ago it was, but I was an orientation leader for the ELC. So when we had, I think they were our first or second group of international students come over here, me along with 2 other students, we were their domestic orientation leaders along with international orientation leaders as well. But so we got to lead, I think, about 150 to 200 international students that summer to bring them into the school, to help them learn English just a little bit, play games with them, basically what we do around with our domestic students, but it was a little bit different with them. But I think we spent like 8 to 5 with them Monday through Friday for a whole week. So getting to be around them and talk to them for a whole entire week. And now some of them play sports now, or at least they used to before they transferred to Oxford. And so still like remaining friends with them now and seeing them around campus, I think is really like a cool part of our student population as well.
If you were to sit in a regular classroom, specifically for one of my classes, I know there's a few international students in there. There's a mother with 4 children. There is a guy who didn't go to college for 20 years and is now deciding to come back, and there's just regular typical students that come straight from high school, or there's some CCP students who are still in high school taking college classes. And as a CCP student, you can take college courses even in middle school. So you could have a middle schooler in your class, and you could have a 70-year-old in your class too. So it's just super diverse, and I think it really represents the surrounding community so well, because Middletown is a very diverse place, and I think we reflect awesomely at that.
It's come up in other interviews that there was a time when we feared that the regional campuses would be split off from the Oxford campus and would lose the Miami identity. What was that feeling like for the students? What did that feel like for opportunity? And how has that resolved?
Yeah, I think that as a student, for me, I was kind of undecided, didn't know what I wanted to do. And then when everything happened where we weren't going to possibly be Miami University, we were going to be something different, I made my mind up and I decided to go and do an Oxford degree. And then once the split, once that happened, I felt a little bit better about it because I was still going to get Miami degree. And but I was nervous. I didn't feel like I fit in with Oxford. I felt like the classes were bigger. It wasn't for me. And I had just made the decision that I was going to come back to the regionals. And that is at the time that the regionals had made the point that they were going to get more bachelor degrees. They were going to be one Miami. So I'm really glad that I decided to come back, and now that I did graduate with a regional degree. But now for me in my profession, just telling the community even still that we are one Miami. Everything that we have is hashtag one Miami. Because we are Miami University, we're Miami University regionals, you're going to graduate with a regional degree, or with a Miami degree. So I think that's huge, but I think that during that time it was really hard because the community was upset. People feared that maybe their education wasn't going to be valued. I know professors at the time were nervous. How is it going to look different? Are they going to get paid different? Are their jobs going to look different or be jeopardized? I remember having a political science professor that was a little bit nervous about it. And so I think that was a big uproar, but I'm more than happy that it is one Miami now.
I know for me, part of it was, Savannah brought it up, which reminded me of it. Because I'm a criminal justice major, it is only offered on the regionals. Oxford, I believe, offers it as a minor, but they don't offer it as a major. And I've always wanted to go into criminal justice since I was in 6th grade, so I wasn't going to change my mind. So I was really nervous about that. Savannah, you had the opportunity to transfer over to Oxford, but I didn't have the opportunity. If if Oxford separated from the regionals, I would have had to transfer schools in order for me to remain a criminal justice major. So that, I became nervous about that. But the other part of the whole potential separation and everything, I've always seen Miami regionals, well, Miami Middletown specifically, because we were the first regional campus in Ohio. I felt like we were at a higher standard than all the other regional campuses because we would be like the role model of everybody. Like we're the first to do this, we're the first to 50. We should show what a good connection that is between the regionals and the main campus and everything like that. So once that separation started to happen, it seemed like we weren't being good role models anymore. We weren't rising to the expectations that other regional campuses might be looking up to and everything like that. So I thought that became a big problem. But now, like Savannah said, we are one Miami and everything like that with the new president that we have who comes to visit our regional campuses like once a month. I feel like I see him at least once a month.
He's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Like, President
Crawford.
Yeah, Gregory Crawford and Renata Crawford.
You see at least one of them a month.
Oh, yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. Or you'll see them on Twitter. They might favorite your tweet, and I'll completely fangirl because of it. But you see them at all the campuses. You see them on their social media talking about all the campuses. And so with the connection that we have now, like I finally feel like we are rising up to the expectation, to the standard of being a good role model for the rest of the regional campuses across the state.
And I think what really helped resolve that problem of the separation was the fact that it was more than just a business decision for Miami to keep everything intact. It was the fact that you're bargaining with the futures of thousands of students. The regional campuses hold roughly 8,000 students, 8 to 10,000 students. That is including the ELC, the foreign exchange body that we bring over every year. So I think that was one of the big reasons why Miami remained one Miami. And President Greg Crawford and Dr. Renata Crawford have definitely reinforced that idea. And I think that the attitude that came after that decision really helped to reinforce the good feelings that everybody had with everybody, because it really was a fearful time. And for me, I was still in high school at the time, but I had friends who were coming to the regional campuses, and they were worried that their degree, once when they graduate, if Miami made the decision, would not have the same level of strength that it would have had if it didn't have Miami University's name attached to it. I think that was important.
I remember my freshman year being here, and I was an education major, so I would have had to transfer to Oxford anyways. I'm thinking like, dang, that sucks for people that like aren't transferring to Oxford. That sucks for people who do have like a criminal justice degree or
nursing.
Or nursing. Like their degree is going to say that they graduated from a regional campus, and if they're up against someone who just has like Miami University and Miami Middletown, like that Miami University person might get picked over that Miami Middletown person. But little did I know, I was going to switch my major to something that is only offered at the regional campus. And I'm so glad that we stayed one Miami, because if we didn't, I wouldn't be pursuing what I am most passionate about now. And I wouldn't be able to like pursue what I actually want to pursue. So I'm super thankful that we stayed one Miami, just for myself and for all the other students that didn't know what they were passionate about when they came into school and like decided to change their major and to stay at a regional campus.
I think too, for generations to come, like if this uproar happened between the time my mom graduated and the time that I started coming to school, I probably wouldn't have chose to come to Miami if I didn't know that it had Miami University as its home base. So I think for like our future generations to come, just to know that it is one Miami and that it is Miami University, regardless of which campus you go to. I think that from here on out, I think it'll be a great thing for that generation.
I know what else bothered me with that situation was I remember hearing a lot of people saying how they felt like the regional degree kind of lessened the Miami University degree or the reputation that comes from a Miami University degree. But you've taken classes at Oxford. I've taken classes at Oxford. Have you taken classes at Oxford? Like, I don't know if you have. Okay, so 3 out of 4 of us have taken classes at Oxford. I know, at least for me, it's a bigger classroom, yes, but I do the exact same stuff that I do at Oxford that I do here. And we have professors who teach at the regional campuses also teach at the Oxford campus. So that, whenever I heard people say that the regional degree lessened the Miami reputation, it didn't seem valid at all, because it's all one education. We are all learning the exact same thing, so it didn't make sense to me at all. And that was one of the biggest problems that I had with the whole issue that came up, is when people said that.
Okay. As I'm reflecting on what you said, I'm reminded of the first generation of parents who saw the groundbreaking for this campus and their dreams of opportunity. Do you sense that opportunity is still a key word for this campus?
Oh, yeah.
And how does that manifest in your cohort of students?
I think from just being on campus, like I said earlier, just having that service learning aspect to our majors. Most majors have that. It gives students the opportunity to network with the community. Their names are out there. It really brings the students out to the community and also the community in. So the people are wanting to hire Miami grads. I think our percentage rate right now, it's a 97% grad rate, or employment after graduation or furthering your education after you graduate from here. And that's huge. I think that is really big for the Miami Regionals. Sorry, what was the beginning of the question?
I was thinking the same thing.
One of us was going to go off the rails.
Yeah, me.
Opportunity,
okay. So I think that opportunity is huge here. I think it's really pushed to go out into the community. I think that is the biggest piece of opportunity that I had, was working with, those 2 or 3 different nonprofits around. They got to see me. They were my references on getting a job, even working in different offices here. I think that even your networks that you're building with professors or different directors from different offices, they're willing to go on a limb for you and help you. And because I think that everyone believes in students here. I think that it's big. And I don't think that we would have been able to do that if we weren't One Miami.
I know for me, there are several staff and faculty members that we have here. The main 2 that I will mention, one is Crystal Ford, because actually my sophomore year, I took a civic and regional development class where I had to go and do service learning, and where I ended up, because Crystal sat down with me for 45 minutes to an hour, going through a whole list of nonprofits, and asking me questions about how I am, how I was raised, what I want to do in my future and stuff like that, because she wanted to find the absolute perfect nonprofit that she thinks that I would work well with. And now, because of that class and because of her sitting down with me and talking to me about it, I volunteered there last year or 2 years ago, and now I'm doing my internship there, and I absolutely am in love with what I do there. And hopefully after I'm done with my internship, I want to work there as well. So through that opportunity from that class and with Crystal, I've been able to find out what I want to do after college and everything like that. So that has been an amazing opportunity. But also I actually ended up meeting her through class, but Dr. Ginger Wickline, I've had a psychology class with her almost every single year that I've been here, but she is also my advisor for one of the student orgs that I'm treasurer of, which is SERVE, which is the Students Engaging in Real Volunteer Efforts. But through the years of getting to know her through classes and being her student, and her also being my advisor for SERVE, and always keeping this type of connection, for her, I think it was last year, just randomly, I just get an email from her, and she's just like, here, Mariah, here's a letter of recommendation. Whatever you decide to do in life, you can always use it. You can always use me as a contact and everything like that. And when I got that, I literally started crying because I'm like, I didn't ask her for it. Like, this was just purely out of the goodness of her heart that she believed in me and she saw something in me that I probably don't even see in myself. But she's also, because she did that, like, I gained more confidence, which made me like go and do more stuff with the school and out in the community and everything like that. So because of her, I also got the opportunity to like do more, or I realized that I'm capable of more things than what I believed. So because of our faculty and our staff here, I've been able to do everything that I love to do, and because of them, and after college, I give it to them. It's them. They're the reasons for it.
Any other opportunity stories?
I can speak on that. I'm currently in a grant writing class for my major is Civic and Regional Development, and we split up into different groups, and each of our groups are legitimately writing a grant proposal for the YMCA and the one in downtown Hamilton, and we are partnering with the YMCA in that, and specifically the Booker T. Washington Center, which is in Hamilton. And I am learning how to write a grant proposal, which I thought I would never do. And I'm partnering with a huge organization and also a smaller organization within that big one. And I'm getting to know people that I didn't think I would get to know. And I'm getting all this experience that I can take with me outside of my classes and outside of my degree, whether I'm going to put that into practice or not. Like, it is making me network, and I'm getting to learn like new skills, and I'm getting to learn new people. And I'm just getting to learn the world of nonprofits even more just by writing this grant for them, which is awesome. And without that opportunity, I wouldn't have met these like 15 people that I have met through that are in like the world of nonprofits and who can mentor me in a way until I end up graduating.
I think for me, when I came here, first off, I think the beauty of Miami Middletown and Miami Regionals as a whole is the fact of its vast unpredictability. And I think that's where opportunity comes from. When you venture into uncharted territory, you really don't know what you're getting into. There's not a beaten path anywhere, so it's not like that you know the road that you're going to be traveling on. It's this wide open field that you can choose to do whatever and interact with whoever that you want. For me, when I came here, I was, like Mariah, I was an athlete in high school. I ran track for my high school for 3 years, and I wanted to find a way to bring physical activity to the regional campuses, because that's where I feel like it was missing. We have a basketball team, we have tennis, we have baseball, softball. Yeah, we have a wide selection, but there's still people out there who want to really express their athletic talents in ways that it may not be offered at the regional campuses. And so I talked around with some people. Mariah was actually one of the first people who I came to, and I asked, like, hey, I really want to start this student org. Like, well, who do I go to? Who do I talk with? And they directed me to student government, and that was how I later on got involved with them. They directed me to the former director of student activities at the time, which was Carrie Chambers, and I talked with her, and within a month, we had Miami Middletown Athletic and Fitness Club founded, something that had never been on this campus before. And that year, we hosted 2 dodgeball events where we brought in a collective bunch of around 35 people. And it was small. It was a small group, but it was a start. And it was something new. And it was something that this place hadn't seen yet in a long while, at least. And I think that's just where opportunity comes from. Small little events like that, talking with people, venturing into uncharted territory, kind of exploring what's around you. And then that turn has a reverse effect, and you get to explore a little bit of yourself, because that helped me understand the magnitude of leadership in a way that I had never really seen before.
Listening to your responses to the last question leads me to other conversations that have been spoken by graduates. And the word magic, there's something magical about this campus and its transformative powers. would you comment on the magic of MUM?
When you're driving on Brielle or University Boulevard, right?
Yes.
That's the other road? Okay. When you're driving on one of those two roads and then you make that turn off onto that road going down into Miami University, Middletown, it's really quite impressive because it's almost like it's a whole different world. You know, when you're driving on the road, the campus is not there. The buildings are not across the street or like over across the curb. You're literally driving down this hill into what I would call a bowl, a little valley, where it's like completely separate, broken off from civilization. You don't hear any cars and trucks driving by. You don't hear any of the activity of what's going on. Middletown High School is across the road from here, and they're building 2 new buildings, and you don't hear anything going on over there. When you get down that hill, and if it's in the fall, which I think is the most beautiful time for this campus, you get to see the leaves changing. You get to see, the vibrance of Middletown, and I think that that's just a beauty that's inexplicable. It's the geography of this area that I think adds to the power of this community, where you can't describe it. You can't. And that also says something to the attitude of the people that are here as well. The magic, I think, lies in its location as well as the people who constitute Miami University Regionals. There's something strong, something powerful about that.
So one of the other options was a piece of land near the town mall, or the interchange. Did they make the correct decision by picking Bunny Hollow?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us some more about this magical place. What's magical about being a student here?
I think of MUM as a relationship. You put in what you want out of it. So I think that with any relationship, you have to spend a lot of time with it. And the more time that you spend here at MUM, the more you seem to fall in love with it. The more people you talk to, the more things that you go see. I've been here for 4.5 years. This will be my 5th year. And I just went on the trails recently. And I didn't even know that it went all the way around. I didn't know, a whole lot about it. But I really think that the more time that you spend here, the more time you'll feel connected, the more your love or relationship will grow. And that's magical to me, I think. It's like, it's weird. I don't know. I love it. And like on weekends, I work now 8 to 5 every day, and on weekends I'll ask my parents, hey, you want to go walk on trails, or hey, you want to go to a game? And it's like, I just can't get enough, and it's fun, and I like that it's right here, and it's local. I think all of us value that because it's close to home, and it's this whole big plot of land. I'm actually having my wedding reception at Verity Lodge this summer. So that's really cool because I just can't get enough of it.
Is that an invitation to everybody watching?
Yes, absolutely.
I know for me what's magical about it is the sense of community that the students and the staff and faculty bring to the school. I'm from a really small village that's like 45 minutes away from here, Yellow Springs. So I grew up where everybody knows everybody. There's no secrets because everybody talks. I was a senior, our middle school and high school were in one building, so even as a senior, I knew people who were in 7th grade because we saw each other every single day. Even in the elementary school, everybody knew everybody. And so I was honestly, no matter where I went to college, I was going to be very nervous because I graduated with 54 people in my class, so I was like, no matter where I go, it's going to be bigger than where I'm so used to and where I'm comfortable at. So I didn't think I could find the type of community that I've always had growing up in Yellow Springs, but surprisingly which is actually one of the main reasons why I stayed here, but within the first 2 years of me being here, between the friends that I made here through sports, through student orgs, through work and everything like that, the type of family and love that I felt from, other students and from the staff and faculty, sorry. Somebody mentioned it earlier how, you can tell that the staff and faculty, they truly do care about the futures of the students and everything like that. And I could immediately feel that. And I think that's what's magical about this place is that everybody thinks that with a commuter school, you're not going to get that. Everybody goes home or goes to class and then leaves, but it's not that. There's so much more to it than just going to class and going back home. And you can see it from the students, you can see it from the staff members, you can see it from the faculty members that there's love all around here, but you have to, whatever you put into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. But it's definitely all around this campus.
I think that I see the magic in this campus, like in the diversity. That's something that I'm really passionate about, and I love the city of Middletown as a whole. And the city of Middletown is so diverse, and I think this campus mirrors it so well. And I am so encouraged when I see so many people of different walks of life in one place at one time, getting like together and getting to know each other and getting to like love on each other as well. And I think that's what makes this place so special, is because if you were to go to Oxford, yes, you would see diversity, but I don't think you would see the diversity that we have here in such a small, close-knit area. And I just think that is so special, and it makes it so much more welcoming than any other place that I've been a part of.
If I can say one other thing about this place, when you're living on a campus, you're around those people 24/7. So it's almost like, okay, you're sharing a big section of your life with these people for 4 years. That changes every year, of course. But when you're on a campus like this, when you're in a place like this, you only see each other maybe 4 or 5 days out of a week. And you may not even see them, given our schedules are different, that we're everywhere all the time. You may not see them at all for nearly an entire week. So what makes it special about the interactions that you have with people here is that, it's pretty much just like life. You see each other, you cross paths at certain times, and then other times you don't. And that forces you, in my opinion, to make every moment that you're with that person, that you're interacting with those people, count. Because there may go by a month, 2 months, a year where you don't see that person, you don't have that same type of interaction with them again like you do in that current moment. And I think that really helps build the well-founded relationships that I think we all have, not just with each other, but also with everybody on this campus. Because, life is short, so take advantage of every moment that you have with everybody. And people say that all the time, life is short. That's kind of just become, the bandwagon thing to say. But really, it does take meaning once when you analyze. It's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, you don't have the same type of schedule that they do. You don't have the same type of interaction and lifestyle that everybody else does. So you never know what will come in the next 2 or 3 years. So
I'd like to talk about being student workers. I've heard all kinds of stories, including one student whose marriage was brokered by her boss a few decades ago. I don't know if that's happening now, but can you talk about the relationship? You started talking about a couple of staff members, but the opportunities of being student workers, how is that different from being service learning opportunities?
I think that we all could benefit from Carrie Chambers and Caitlin Borges. Those two both, I think, have found a passion within each of us and have lit a fire within all of us. Carrie, for instance, when I was a student here, I started working in the admission office, and I was an orientation coordinator. And Carrie really found different things that I was strong in, different things that I think that she saw in me that maybe I didn't see in me, and she really worked upon those. She always encouraged me to do more, become more interested, or do this job, do that job, do this organization. She's now my mentor, and I think that when Carrie moved positions into e-learning and Caitlin took over, I think that Caitlin did the exact same thing with every student that Carrie did for me. She found what each student were passionate about and really worked upon that with that student. I think that as a student employee, I was able to meet a lot more people, and I was able to have more fun and have more opportunities. I was able to go on one conference for sure, and then for an orientation conference in Indianapolis with a couple other students, and that was just really awesome, because how many people can say they went on a conference during their college experience here for something that was for a job here. And then too, working in the admission office as a student ambassador, giving tours to prospective students and families. And that's a pretty hard job, and I think that people who give tours see that too. You have to bring your A game and make people fall in love with this, and you only have 15 minutes to tell them why you love it and why it's great. But it's a challenge, and it's really nice, and I really loved being a student worker here just based off of everything I learned.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of my college experience so far has been being a student worker. I have met way more staff than I had met in my 2 years here before I became a student worker. It just connected me with all the other faculty and staff so much better than I could have ever done it myself. And like Savannah said, Caitlin Borges. What?
Borges.
I know.
It's Borges.
I thought it was
Is it?
Borges.
Borges.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was a
Borges.
Forge.
It's okay.
I don't know.
She does pursue us really well in orientation. She makes sure that we are in our strong suits all the time. I'm usually the one that's interacting with all of the students at the beginning and making them feel welcome. And sometimes I'm like, why can't I just sit at the desk and do the check-in paperwork? She's like, because you are good at talking to students and that's what you're supposed to do. So she'll have me do things even if I don't want to do them sometimes, because she's like, that's what you're good at and I'm going to push you to do that. And Ruth Orth, mine and Mariah's boss, is just so awesome. She will come sit at the desk with me sometimes and eat her lunch and just hang out and talk and ask me how I'm doing or talk to me about her life and what's going on. So it is a boss relationship, but it is also more of a friendship too. I've gained friendships with the staff members here. I feel more of a part of the campus, and I also feel really valued by being a student worker too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I know, going off of that, I love all of the bosses that I've had. I've had 4, 5 different jobs, I think, on this campus from the 4 years that I've been here. But I've definitely, obviously there is that student-employee and boss relationship, but it becomes so much better when it becomes a friendship as well. In particular, Marisa Farmer, who she just left Miami, but she's my old supervisor when I work in counseling and disabilities office. But we had her going away party just a few weeks ago, and I remember I walked into the office and I saw her and I'm like, I can't even look at you because I'm gonna cry because I'm so sad that you're leaving, because I've been working for her for a little bit over a year, but I've known her since I started in student org, so it's actually been 2-3 years since I've actually first got to meet her and get to talk to her and everything like that. And she has become my second mom here at school. And she's even said, she was like, Mariah, you're the daughter that I never had. And so it's we build these relationships with our bosses that, you become more like a friend to them and everything like that. And you get that relationship and you know that they care about you, truly care about you and want to see you succeed and everything like that. And those relationships I know they've pushed me, just like I'm sure that they've pushed all of you, to become a better person. From the students that I've met, and especially from the expectations that I know that my supervisors have for me, has definitely pushed me to become a better student in the classroom, to become a better student in the student orgs that I'm involved in, and to be a better person in general when I'm outside the community and stuff like that. All of them and everything that they teach us and expect from us have definitely motivated me and taught me to become a better person in general.
Yeah, I have to say, when I first started here, my first job was an orientation leader. That was officially when I started working as a student worker. And then I got involved with the Office of Student Activities, both thanks to the help and the guidance of Carrie Chambers. And then when Carrie left and went to e-learning, Caitlin Borges came in, she came in and really did a good job in assuming the mantle of leadership with the students and getting to know each and every student on a person-to-person basis. And what's so amazing, and how I'm amazed that everybody brings this up, is that yes, it's a fun job. but it's also a job with responsibilities, and it's a job that holds you to expectations. It's a job that, like I said before, when you're put in the spotlight amongst a bunch of students that are on campus, they look to you as being the example. And that can be a hard role to assume sometimes. And it can definitely be a growing challenge. When you have to explore a different side of yourself, where be it outgoing and being interpersonal with other students, or whether it's fulfilling tasks that they assign to you that may not be so fun, and they may be like, oh man, this wasn't everything that I wanted, but then again, it is, because it's something that will help you become a better person in the long run, not just on this campus, but outside as well, when you're working in the real world and when you're interacting with people on a day-to-day basis. It really is an amazing experience being a student worker here.
I think the top benefits of being a student worker are the skills that you learn, because they are professional skills, but you also get to have fun, and there's a lot of free pizza if you are a student worker in any office.
Oh my gosh,
So much.
there's
So
at the
much.
info desk. Whenever there's any event on campus, any extra food just gets left up at the counter at the info desk.
I'm
and then
90% sure I've gained like 5
Yeah,
pounds.
me
Worked
too.
in
Off of
office.
pizza.
there was like a
Yeah.
tray of fruit or something like that, and I'm like, all right, well, nobody else is getting this. I'm just gonna put it down here for myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really
Seriously,
shouldn't.
I think as soon as I started working on campus is when I started gaining some weight.
And
Yeah,
You
because there's
know,
always
staff-
free food.
There's always
all the
free
time.
food.
seriously,
And it's
staff
good
members
food.
will
Yeah.
always just like bring you food too.
Yes.
Yeah, this leftover.
Just a couple
do you
days
want it?
ago.
No, I don't
With
want it.
the-
I don't want to eat your food.
Yeah, with the Irish event,
But you
Katie
do
Boat
wanna
will
eat
just
it.
like
I do.
set a plate of food on my desk, and I'm like, well, all right then. I'm like, I'm not gonna complain about free food, especially if you want to just bring it to me. I don't even have to walk anywhere.
It's been fun watching the free food at the front desk, especially on brownie days. I have to admit that. But I'd like to talk about a couple of things. One, what advice would you give to students in a couple of years who are starting here?
Get involved.
Yeah.
I
Don't
know.
wait to get involved.
Yeah,
don't
don't wait until like your last year to get involved. In my opinion, I think they would regret it if they wait until like the last year or so. But I know we say a lot of that, like we say to get involved to a lot of the students that we see through orientation. But I know, like, being honest, like for myself, like through my experience, like my first 2 years here, I had planned to come here, play basketball for the first 2 years, and then transfer to a bigger school because I've never been to a bigger school. I grew up in Yellow Springs, and so I wanted to get that experience. But because by the end of my sophomore year, I started to get involved with student orgs, and that's truly when I fell in love with being here. That's the whole reason why I'm still here and why I'm graduating here and why I love this school so much, is because of the organizations and because of the friends that I'm involved in and all the help that we do, like when we give back to the students in our school and the people in our community and everything like that. That's what made me fall in love with it. And we've been saying multiple times, like, you're going to get out of your, like, the experience that you have, you're going to get out whatever you put in. Mm-hmm. So I hear a lot of students complain that it's really boring here, and I'm like, but join a student org, like, get involved with school somehow. There's so many different opportunities that your time here doesn't have to be just drive to class, sit in class for an hour and a half, however long, and then go back home and then sit and watch Netflix or something like that. That doesn't have to be your life, even though you're going to a commuter school. Like, if you get involved, we're here, 8 a.m. until, I know there's days where I'm here from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. because of school, because of work, because of meetings with student orgs and stuff like that. So it's like, at some point during the day, you will see one of us here at all hours of the day. I know there are people who think that I don't even, they think I live here because I'm always here. But it's like, because I'm involved with the school through so many different aspects of it, that's what keeps things interesting. That's where you get all the experience from. That's where you get the friendships from that are going to last a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
What I'd like to do is talk about the students who are still nervous and still struggling. And let's say they're in their second semester and things aren't going well. What resources do they have available to help them overcome whatever obstacles they're feeling?
So there is something along with the advising office, it's the TLC, the Teaching and Learning Center. And if you go down there, there are so many different labs that they can attend for their different classes if they need help. Even if their grades aren't bad, they're just feeling like kind of about the semester, someone in there will be like, hey, we can do your homework together, and like we can figure out how to make this semester better for you. And they can also, relay the information to like one of the student leaders of like, hey, you should really talk to this student. They're not feeling so great about the semester. Like, hang out with them, make them feel better, make them like join an org, find out what they're passionate in. And another thing for that student is like, don't write this campus off yet. Like, don't just check it off because you're not feeling it in the second semester. Like, yes, you might be scared and it is hard to go out of your comfort zone, but like, jump into one of the events that we have. Like, no one's going to bite, no one's going to hurt you. We're going to be super nice and super encouraging that you're coming to do our event, because a lot of people don't sometimes. So we'll be grateful that you come. And it does take a lot of courage to step out of your like comfort zone, but I would tell that student that there are so many people like you that have done it and have benefited from it.
I think I was that student. My first 2.5, almost 3 years here, I didn't get involved. I came to campus and I went to my job off of campus, and I thought, I don't need these friends. Like, I have friends. I don't need this. I would have my friends from my classes, but I didn't really need to get involved. I didn't need that. And it wasn't until I had another friend from high school actually reach out to me and say, hey, I really need you to do orientation this summer. I really need you to be a part of the team. And it wasn't until her reaching out to me for me to realize that I needed that in my life. So I think, too, student advocacy is huge. If we see someone on campus, we try to reach out. And I think that we go on a way of it as being someone's friend and not so much as attacking someone, which is good. But, just being there and telling them, being that person like Carrie was to us or like Caitlin is to us, really seeing a strength in them and then working upon it, and then hopefully seeing them get involved and sprout into something huge. I think student advocacy is the biggest thing of how to get students involved and how to see more involvement with students here and knowing someone,
Yeah.
I think it's important that, if you're in your second semester and you're nervous, you don't have many friends, whether you're nervous with, staying in school or your classes or friendships or something like that. I think it's important that every student should have a mentor throughout college, whether that be another student, a staff member, a faculty member. I know we have our Red Women organization that's across all campuses, but it's for women of the Hamilton campus, Middletown campus, and Oxford campus that students, staff, and faculty, we all empower one another, we all encourage one another to break those barriers that we might face through our work or through school or something like that. But I know I'm the student representative, you're a part of it as well. I think it's always important to have somebody there to help you through situations when you are nervous. I know Ginger is one of my mentors at school, because I remember freshman year when I took her first level psychology class, she was talking about something, I broke down crying afterwards, and since that day she has become my mentor. She has helped me through everything. Whenever she sees me, she asks me if I'm okay, she asks me about my personal life and everything like that, because we have that mentorship relationship and everything like that. And I know if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So I think for any student who is nervous about what they're going through at school, they definitely, as hard as it is to reach out to somebody else, I think it's important for them to find that mentor, because I think from the people that I know here, I don't think anybody's going to turn down being a mentor to somebody else. I know if a student came up to one of us and said, hey, I see what you guys do in class, outside of class, I really look up to you, do you mind being my mentor? I don't think any one of us would turn it down, and I don't know anybody in this campus that would. I think it would be taken as such an honor that you're looked up to by another student or anything like that. Even with staff members and faculty members, they need mentors as well. But I think that's key for a student who might be struggling through school, whatever the struggle may be. Having a mentor there to help them through everything is definitely really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's college. It's a lot different than some of the other
We didn't know.
Well, I mean, some people don't. Some people don't. They'll get into school and they'll think that this could be a breeze, or they'll have the mindset that they can't do this, and that'll get imprinted on them too. And I feel like that back to the whole uncharted territory point, that scares people, and they freeze up. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle themselves. That's not necessarily an issue, but I mean it's just a problem that hinders them from success. And anybody can be successful, but like we've all talked about, you need the right resources in order to do that, and no man can sail their ship on their own. So I think that reaching out to other people is definitely something that they need to do. And just not to be afraid, Don't worry about the fact that, oh my God, I have this class coming up next semester. I don't know how I'm going to survive. Or, oh my God, I'm doing terrible in my classes. How I'm going to drop out. No, and then they just shut down and they don't even talk to anybody. My first semester of my sophomore year was just a killer, in a bad way. It was not good for me. And after keeping it to myself for a while, I thought I actually need to go and I need to talk to somebody about this. So I was talking with a couple people who we mentioned before. Caitlin Borges was one of them. I talked with some of my friends here that are sitting at this table and others, and talking with my parents, talking with the professors who I had, and a lot of them reached the same conclusions. Like, you may be in the wrong major. This may not be something that you want to do. You may be interested in it still, but there's something in the work that you're doing that's just not clicking with you. And that ended up being what it was. And after going to talking with advising and talking with some of the counselors there, we kind of flipped through the catalog, and sitting at home with my parents, we were looking over more of the majors, the 4 degrees that are offered here at Middletown. And I found one, communication studies, and that fit right up my alley. Everything that I have done in the past and what I want to do, there it was sitting right in front of me. So, and that's a major that's offered here at this campus. That's not something that's offered at Oxford or at another. Well, I mean, it is, but that's not something that's far out there. It's here. It's right in front of you. It's under your nose. So don't be afraid, because more often than not, that the solution to your problem, if that's anybody that's here on this campus or elsewhere, is right in front of you. You just have to shine the light in the right spot. You got to figure it out.
So the Sweet MUMories project is to collect stories about the first 50 years of the Miami Middletown campus. If you could speak to the people who 52 and 53 years ago were making plans for this place, what would you say to them? And what would you say to the people celebrating the next major anniversary?
I would like to say thank you. Thank you for this vision of this wonderful campus. And everyone's, for the past 50 years, thank you for growing this campus and growing this Miami community, allowing me to be a part of it, allowing my family to be a part of it, and hopefully for the next generation or my generation, next generation, I hope that they can be a part of it too. So I just want to say thanks for this vision, because it worked out.
Yeah, I would definitely want to say thanks, especially for investing into the city of Middletown, because this city does get written off so much, but this campus gives Middletown hope, and it gives the future generations hope. And I hope that the future generation does invest in this place as well, that 25 years from now we can look back and be like, man, it is still here and it is still thriving, and this city is still being invested in. And I just want them to know that their work mattered so much, because I mean, this is only 4 of us sitting at a table when there are so many more people that could be here talking about their experiences from this place specifically.
And going off of what both of them say, to say thank you. I know without that original group to set all of this up, I wouldn't have made the friends that I made here, that I am hoping they mean so much to me. So I'm hoping that I can have them for the rest of my life. But because of I mean, like I've said before, like I was an athlete. I had other offers to go to other schools. And being here for 4 years and about to graduate from here, I truly don't believe that I would have had the experience and the love that I have for any other school that I even thought about or that I was offered. I feel like everything that I got out of college, I would have only gotten here, and there's no replacing that. So all the visions that, you know, the original group had, hats off to you. It has happened.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We were talking how their desire when they started this was to bring about a campus that would foster people that would bring about change and an impact to the city of Middletown. Well, when I look around the hallways, I see people who are not only changing the city of Middletown, but are changing the world and will change the world. So thank you to those of you who gave us this opportunity to come to this institution and to find ourselves who we truly are. And to everybody out there who's watching this, never give in and don't give up. The opportunities are out there. All you desire, the world is yours. Love and honor, One Miami. I think that this place is truly spectacular. So thank you all.